Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima and I'm here playing World of Goo. Or I will be in a second. There's something that needs to be shown off first. When you're playing the game in handheld mode or, well just in handheld mode, you can play using the touchscreen and it works perfectly fine. However, with the kickstand out or with just the Joy-Cons in your hands, like for example while you're docked, you're going to need to do this. This is a pretty self-explanatory process, so I'm just going to let it play out. So there you go. You use the nunchuck, not the nunchuck, I'm not on the Wii. You use the Joy-Con as a pointer, just like on the Wii. And it actually works pretty damn well. It's very accurate, and considering that you can recenter, so recenter the pointer at any time, it means that you don't need to be worried about some silly IR sensor going nuts on you. So, we're going to hop into Chapter 1 first, because I suck at World of Goo. I will happily admit that, because I just want to demonstrate how this game works before I get into any particularly hard puzzles. So, we'll do the very first puzzle first, and then we'll just jump to, if I can just hold the pointer still there for a second. We'll go do an easy puzzle first, just to demonstrate how the game works. And it seems pretty obvious there, but we will be saying the very obvious anyway. Have you seen a video of mine that I did very recently that was on a game called Bridge Constructor? Well, this is basically Bridge Constructor, but the creators took a copious amount of drugs. They took a ridiculous amount of the wacky tobacco, as one might say. And I failed that, but it's just a good demonstration. So, you build your goo structure via dragging and dropping, and you build up towards the pipe. And once your little guys go in the pipe, that's the level successful. Let's try and do that in a way that's less retarded, and so therefore I can actually survive the level with it. Because as you can see, a lot like the old games like Lemmings, you need to get a certain amount of them to safety. Not too hard if you really focus on it. There is also what they call an OCD. They also call an OCD requirement, where you gotta basically do the level perfectly in order to successfully get the OCD ranking, and you know, getting every level in OCD is the best thing you can do. So we'll just pick one that's slightly harder. Fisty's Bog, not too high, not too low. Let's see what this does. Alright, so we got a bunch of them over on the left there. We got spikes on the top and bottom. We have balloons, and we have to get to that other pipe. Interesting problem. So let's just get on that and work on that. So the game's got a fair few puzzles. There's 4 chapters, and they each have a bunch of levels each. I'm only at the beginning of Chapter 3, but I have played Chapter 1 and 2. So I can say that I've played a little bit. It's a lot further than I ever got on the Steam version, but I did actually play the Steam version, which I'm surprised by. I don't usually play indie games, but I apparently played this one. That was very close. So this game is freaking nuts. Like, the theme is a sort of like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like power conservation and all that. The whole theme's based around a... Oh, Jesus. I've just been throwing them off like crazy. Let's hit one of these guys up here, and it will allow us to pop back a couple of turns, which will give us the time we need to build more balloons and more things, and don't go out there. Mother of God. Okay. We good? We're not good? Can you tell I suck at these sorts of games? The answer to that should be a resounding yes. Let's rewind time again. So it's got this whole weird theme of, like, environmentalism and power preservation going on around it, which is a neat concept considering you're trying to save these poor little goos. Where are the other ones? Did I literally use every one I had? Oh, good God. Well, I suck. Let's play another level. It's silly. It's really silly. Like, I'll play one more thing here. Ode to the Bridge Builder. Oh, great. I hate this level. I had to pick this one, didn't I? There's this whole silly plot going on in the background that makes absolutely no sense, where the Goos are more or less trying to find what happened to their power source. And you have this weird sign guy in the background here. Like, if I press A on this, it's a relatively self-aware narrator talking about absolutely random stuff. Some of it is, like, relatively applicable to the plot. It's just one of those games where you feel like they were on a giant acid trip the entire time. It's definitely one of those styles of games. It is, however, helped by its presentation, which is absolutely goddamn lovely. It is one of the prettiest 2D games I've seen in a while. And that's saying something. We've seen a lot of pretty 2D games recently. But it's lovely. It really is. Just look at it. And listen to it. Like, the sound in this game is phenomenal. They have a... Oh dear. Hang on. Put that back and hit one of the birds and we get to travel back in time. Hang on. We will give it a bit of stability. There we go, that should hold it up a bit better. But yeah, the soundtrack is great. The giant musical note that you saw on the main menu just before I actually hopped into the game is a, what's it called? Is a sound test. So you can go and listen to all the game's music separately from the game itself. And it's lovely. It's lovely. Oh, Jesus, not again. You can just hear everybody dying in the background there. That sounds very familiar, actually. I'll be damned if I know where I remember it from, but that sound effect sounds very familiar. It's probably public domain. Also, in the signboard down there. Yep, I appear to have made this bridge incorrectly, but we will give it a shot anyway. Gotta help it pull itself up a bit. Come on. You two. Hook them up. For a little bit of extra upwards pull. So that's what I need right now. I need an upwards pull and I need it bad. Alright, I got them and I've woken them up, but I've used a lot of these guys, so I need to get everyone who's asleep there, which I think I've successfully done, and build up to the pipe. I may have screwed it. Oh, come on! Oh man, I suck at this. Well, let's go and do one of the levels in level 2, which just shows how the batshit crazy the game can be sometimes. So, yeah, you can see all the chapters here, but you can't get into them without clearing the previous one. That much is pretty obvious. Or at least I would like to think it is. Okay, the red carpet. Let's do that one. This will introduce multiple things at once, so hold tight. Hello, big, crazy-looking ball there. I think it's trying to, like, look at the eyes. Look at the eyes. I think it's trying to follow the pointer, but that's freaky. And we also have green ones down here. Green ones can be repositioned at any time, so they don't have rewinds. Which is kind of annoying on the levels that do feature them. But not that big of a deal. OCD requirements can also be timed requirements. So, you know, finish the level in X amount of seconds. Or they can also be move requirements. You'll attract every one of these little guys you move. So, you have to be careful of that. But it is a real challenge. Sometimes in ways where it's like, oh, right, I wish I'd known that before I actually committed to building my bridge. Sometimes that does happen, although not all the time, but it can happen a little bit more than one might like. But otherwise, it really is a fair and honest challenge. And it is a ton of fun. I am really enjoying myself. It's a really neat twist on the idea of building a bridge. And it's lovely. It really is just quite lovely. It's really well put together. The challenges are interesting. They are constantly introducing new things that you have to deal with. And like, I can't find any, like, real negatives about it, except that it's a little bit obtuse sometimes. But, I mean, hell, just based purely on the narrative alone, I would say that's on purpose. You can play 2 players with this as well. 2-player co-op is actually in this game with the 2 Joy-Cons. That is actually a thing that can happen. I'm trying to not... If that falls onto the red carpet, I'm screwed, but thankfully the red carpet is just falling down now. And down goes the ball. Down the little ramp I prepared earlier, straight into that. And up it goes. Gets caught in the shredder. And flows right back down, and now I have to build a bridge back up. Yeah, not entirely pleasant, is it? Thankfully, I do have these guys. Nope, no I don't. They're all stuck in there. Shit. Well, thankfully, I can still pick up guys like these and start building upwards. Or can I? Because I'm retarded, I have gone and completely screwed any semblance of this being called a tower. Thankfully, I have rewinds. How many more rewinds do I have? This probably isn't going to be enough. No, it was actually enough. My dog's about to go off. I apologize for that. Okay. How do I plan on doing this? Right. Get you out of there. Build you up the middle. You can get out of there as well, and you go up the middle. Then, now you. Now you. You. My goddamn dog needs to be quiet. Don't come in here! For God's sake. Bloody dogs, I swear. They're never bloody happy with anything you do. Oh, come on. At least it's funny when it collapses and it just doesn't bloody work properly. Alright, now you. Right, what's the plan now? When we get it really close to the top, it'll be able to just, like, suck it up. But I don't think we're going to get close enough. And I don't have any rewinds. What does the signpost have to say to my incompetence? Smile for the cameras. Everyone's looking fabulous tonight. Does she even know where the pipe goes? No, I don't think she does. So yeah, they have some, I'm just trying to get my arm in the right position. They have some ridiculous shit going on in this game. What's the OCD for this? Finish in 45 or fewer moves. Good God. Alright. We're going to quit the level again. This is never going to go well on camera. It works fine when I have plenty of time to, It works fine when I have time to actually work on doing the puzzle properly, but when I'm on camera, it's never particularly great. So, we're going to go back and we're going to show off the one final feature that this game's got, and that's the World of Goo Corporation. The World of Goo Corporation is where you can go to build a tower. As you can see, I'm about 14 meters up. And I'm going to want to try and get to 15. But as you can see, I've got a very well-constructed tower here. So I don't want to screw with the formula too much, but we'll give it a try anyway. So yeah, World of Goo is great. Like, I got absolutely nothing against it, really. It's really well done. The challenge is very interesting. You earn these guys, by the way, by finishing a level and finishing with more than the minimum requirement of the thing is. So, how high can I get? I should probably start supporting that tower before it goes belly up. I can't see anything really wrong with World of Goo, except maybe that's a little bit obtuse, as I said before, just because it doesn't really help explain to you some of the harder puzzles, and there's a big reset button down there. There's supposed to be like an online leaderboard for this. I think I remember there being one in the PC version, but I may not be in this one, in this version. What does the sign have to say? Yeah, it's just a basic explanation of what this part of the game is. If you, yep, no new messages. I imagine if you get to a certain height, you'll get a bunch of neat stuff in this mode. But yeah, it's neat being able to just come here and fiddle around with the basics of building. Let's see if I can get to 20. I might be able to pull enough guys out of the base of my tower. Oop, I just need one more. But where can I get one that won't make the entire tower fall down? We all know I'm going to make exactly the wrong choice. This one? $20 meters. Awesome. Oh no, oh no. It's holding there? Is it holding there? Yes, it's holding there. Alright, neat. The game runs really well as well. You'll be seeing this in 1080p 30, but it runs at a full 60 FPS and never drops. Also notably, if you're playing this on, like, just the battery, you'll get, like, 5 to 6 hours out of it if you turn on flight mode and use the touchscreen. That's actually really good, considering that you're lucky to get 2.5 hours on the Switch battery if you play something like Legend of Zelda. So yeah, World of Goo is great. It's a cool puzzle game. It's got a lovely aesthetic. It's got a lot of challenge. It keeps the variety going. And it works really well. It's a great port. So I don't really have that much else to say about it. It's just they've done a really good job with this one. So yeah. This has been Blue Maxima, and I'll see you all next time.